Welcome back to the road to 2200. I'm 1925. My opponent is 1901. We're going to play some Sicilian. I've been trying to work on this more and more. It's hard to work up the courage to play it over the board when everything's on the line. So I'm trying to play it more and more here. Okay, so we've got a delayed Alapin. And yeah, I'm trying to remember. Pretty sure I just played this. And then I think my plan is to fee and kettle the bishop, castle, etc. Yeah, that looks reasonable, right? We've got this whole nice diagonal. I imagine a little castle. I haven't really gotten enough experience yet where I just like already know where all my pieces go. I've got some ideas. I imagine I will go like castle. I don't really know where this bishop goes. Is the real question. I'm assuming this knight goes here. And I'll probably play this at some point. And I'm wondering about like this as the setup. I'm not 100% sure. That seems like a very weird move to me. I guess the thought is they really don't want this bishop here, even though the pin, like there's no pin on the queen. I don't know. That seems rather passive to me, but maybe that's just theory, and I don't know the theory. I definitely do not know delayed Alapin theory. I am playing on opening principles and what looks like a good move much more than I am theory or even knowing where my pieces go. Okay. Sort of assuming right has to be like takes here. If push, where does that knight go? So maybe it's like takes here, but then this pawn looks a bit weak. Maybe I just don't love takes, and then they have this giant center. Is it better to go here, and then if they decide to push, I've got this move at some point? Or maybe here. If I go here, though, and they take, then I have to take back that way. I think I'm okay with that. And then if they push, then I don't think I want to jump into here yet, though. Because then they take, and my pawns are kind of mangled. So for that reason, I think I would rather be here. But if I'm here, it supports this, so I don't know. Let's try to look a bit more. I mean, I could ignore it. Okay, another question is what if they push this way? And then I go, say, takes. I think I don't mind that very much. I go here, there's a lot of pressure on this pawn. I can increase even more. If they go here... Here. That looks a little tougher. More and more I'm thinking maybe I just have to take here. I don't love it, but I guess that's where I'm at. My guess is it's takes, and then this knight jumps into here. I'm quite tempted to like this, and this is my next two moves. Putting a lot of pressure here. The other question would be, do I want to go here to stop this? So do I care if they just push? They have a lot of space. Yeah, I'm not sure I want to let them do that. So if I go here and they push anyway, I go here, I'm fine. I go here, they push here. I can't push back. I would just take, probably takes. This knight goes here, lots of pressure on that pawn. I think I'm okay with that. Yeah, I think this is fine. I really am move by moving this. Like every single move I have to really calculate and think. And this is one of the beauties of having opening theory, right? Is like you can get to save yourself a little bit of time in the opening, get a little more confidence, right? Like I'm very unconfident here. Like also, why didn't I just take here? Like that's how unconfident I am right now, that I was like calculating all these things instead of just noticing the basic, because my brain was like overtaxed on like trying to figure out the opening. Okay, so now I can't do that, and now this is going to be annoying. So I need to move the queen, I think. This looks reasonable to me. I'm on this. If takes, I'm on this twice. I think this is what I want. I really just need to break the pin so they can't go there, here, here. Right, and this pin. But I can't believe I just didn't take that pawn. I feel like they're pretty forced to play here, because if they don't, they actually have two hanging pawns right now. So they're in some trouble. Okay, actually they could do that. Right. So I guess I'm pretty much forced to take here. And this pawn is not hanging, but it will be after this move. And if they push, I can go here. I don't know that I want to go there, though, right? Like, this bishop would be quite strong after they take. So what does this look like? Takes, here. This pawn is still hanging. Takes, back. Yeah, that seems fine. Okay, nice insta-take. I think I just go back. I'm going to probably go here, or actually here, putting more pressure on this. Most likely they're going to do something like this. This would probably be better. But this is going to be hard to deal with. Like that, and suddenly I've got 3 on that pawn pretty quick. It's going to be hard to defend. Which is good because it's rightfully mine. I just blundered. Let me have back the blunder. It's only fair. Okay, so I go there. Yeah, I think this is fine. How do they guard this? Can they even guard it a second time? I think they can, but the third time they won't be able to pull off. So like, let's say they go here or here. Nope, not there. Here. Okay, so they're just like, this is not tenable. I can't guard that pawn. Fair enough. So if I go here, takes. There's nothing scary there. I'm a little bit behind in development with this bishop still back here. So that is something to note. Like, it's possible that pawn grabbing here is not correct because of that. I just have a hard time believing that I can't untangle by just simply like this. And then I had a clean pawn. I also have this trade. I also have this trade if I need. Like, I've got a lot of things cooking here. I also could go here. And then, like, let's say I go takes. Cannot go there. Okay, so it's important to note. My point was, if I go here, this is his pin. And since the knight can't move, I could take. But I guess they could go here, so they don't end up having mangled pawns at the end of it. So, okay, so he's going to take. I'm guessing this is coming. With the idea being, like, it can at least pressure here. I'm very tempted to go here, but I think this move is kind of annoying. I think better would probably be here. So let's see, can I do that move? Like, let's say they go here. And then here, hitting that a second time. So I go here. I don't even know where I'm moving the queen. Let's say I move, I don't know. Maybe I just take here. That seems reasonable. Takes here, rook here, bishop there. Doesn't quite work, but I can go here. Yeah, I'm gonna take here. Might have been unnecessary. Not sure. So here. Queen moves. Then I go here. Seems pretty good. I think I'm just ahead. Untangling. I mean, it's important to note that I could get back row mated. Like, I'm not going to, but I just mean that this is not an air hole at the moment. The queen is covering it. Just something that I'm filing away. Ooh, interesting. Yeah, I guess that's interesting. If I go here, and they take, plant the rook there, and then I go here, and they move the rook, say, here, that looks uncomfortable for me. But I am up a pawn still, and I don't really know a better way to handle this. While it looks a little uncomfortable, I think I have to do it. They can't double the rooks. What they can do, though, I didn't think about, is if all these trades happen, they will be able to stick a rook on the 7th, which is actually quite annoying. And maybe I shouldn't have allowed that. Yeah, I'm unsure about that. This might be an error. Interesting. Okay, I don't know about that. So what if I go here, 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 rook, rook. Yeah, I think I can go this way. And then now I can plant a rook here. And I think I want to go here. Oh, I see. Okay, this would give a pawn back, actually. Okay, now I see. And what I mean is if they go here, and I take, and they take, and I go here, and they take, and I take, this pawn falls at the end of that. I'm not sure that was the right move. I like this. Okay. So I'm just going to go here. And then I'm going to go here. And if they double and come here, I don't think I care. In fact, maybe I go here now. Maybe not. Very weird position. We both have doubled rooks. I don't know whose king I would rather have. Maybe my opponent's. But I would rather have a pawn up. No guarantees for a win in this type of situation, for sure. Ooh, that's interesting. Letting me like reroute my queen if I want with check. Very interesting. I don't know that. Okay, so I'm very tempted to make this move, hitting this twice. The problem is here is hitting this twice and this twice, so I'd pretty much have to come back. I'm not actually sure how I make progress in this game. I think one way would be to maybe get the queens off. If I go here, is he gonna go here? I'm gonna go like here. I don't know. I'm gonna try this idea. We're gonna go this way. It's not like tripling does anything. Like I can't infiltrate or something. But what I am looking at is going here and hitting these two. And if he trades, I'll take with the rook, and then when he comes here, I'm going back. And if he doesn't trade, this is hanging. So he's going to have to figure something out. I would really like a queen trade here. So, just so we know, a 4-on-3 rook setup, or pawn setup with rooks on the board is a theoretical draw. Now, we are not that high rated, so I'm not sure this theoretical draw will happen. I also know how I'm supposed to try to win, which is to try to push my pawns down and take as much space as possible. So we'll see if my little bit of knowledge there will help. But it's very hard to win. It's also kind of hard to draw. I've scrimmaged with this position, and lost and my opponents have lost and we've drawn, so I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if this happens though. My opponent's really trying to think like, I don't know. A bit of me thinks if I was white, I would probably try to trade queens, put a rook on c7, and get down to what should be a draw. It's not a theoretical draw with the other two pawns on the board, though I assume it is a draw. That's probably what I would do. I would assume white's best bet here is this draw. But white has this setup, right, where they're like, ooh, oh man, I'm so close. I'm so close to coming in on this pawn. So I think they want desperately to hold this together and to maybe go something like, yeah, something like that. So, can I go here? That's the question. Ultimate question of the moment. Or is that two pawn grabby? If I do that, and they go here, I cannot take. This would be falling. What I could do is just bring my queen back. And then if they take, I'm here. And if they check, that actually wins. Rook comes back, they win a rook. If not, this. So maybe I can't grab. Let's see one more time. Grab here, comes back, takes. I guess I can take with the queen though, and then I still should be okay. So I'm gonna try this. I think I can pawn grab here. But one last thing: if I pawn grab and they go this way, then I would just take, right, and win. So I think I can grab this pawn. And now this is pretty big, right? I now have a pawn majority on both sides. And that's kind of a big deal. I feel like I've transformed this from pretty much guaranteed, no, not guaranteed draw, but like very draw-ish to now it's winning-ish. Like it's not, I'm not saying I'm going to win, but it's winning-ish now. And next move is probably just queen d5. I'm just saying, got my pawn, going back, stabilizing, and then I'll figure out how to win from there. I don't have like a plan right now of how I'm going to win. I just kind of want to hold this together. If I could trade a bit, I'd be happy doing that. Okay, so that seems like the right move. I have a lot of ways to go wrong here. I think just coming back works. Takes, right, and then it would come with there. And then there, and then there. Yeah, so I can just come back. And wait, one more thing. Yeah, I believe this holds. I'm a pretty big believer this holds. I think my opponent's going to take here. Hoping desperately that I go this way and lose. But I will not. I will go this way and hopefully win. Certainly be closer. And now I can take here. Yes. No, I can't. Because then this becomes vulnerable. So takes this. And I can't go up here. We already saw because this would be a disaster. Here. And he wins. Ooh, interesting. Okay. I wasn't expecting that. Can he go there? No, right? We would just pick up this rook. I think my opponent is trying to bait me into taking here. What if I go here, then... Oh, that might not work, actually. Well, I take here. Takes, yeah. So what I'm calculating is if they go there, threatening this, well, then I just take here. This is being guarded. Everything seems fine. If I go here and he takes here, that's still fine. Another thing I want to look at is what about... I can't go here, right? No. Can I go there? Ooh, that almost forces a trade. I'm going to go here. I think this works. And, you know, I think this is fine. Now I am threatening to take the rook. It's probably going to have to retreat. If the rook retreats, then I think I have ideas maybe of coming in behind, starting my own attack. This is not guarded at the moment. Hmm. Is that a reason? Is that a possible move? I take. Takes. We saw this, right? Takes, and this does not work. So I can't actually take. And if I can't take, what does that mean? What if I go here? Takes. Takes. That works, right? So I go here. I'm threatening this check. I go here. Let's say it goes to there. Then I take. Takes here. Yeah, I think this works. I feel like I'm missing something. I don't know what's going on. There's some spidey sense tingling that's like, no, this doesn't work. There's a cool tactic here that you're missing, but I can't see it. I don't think so. Takes. Yeah, I don't think I'm missing anything. And I think if he trades, he's in trouble. Maybe not. Interesting idea. Takes here. Hitting the pawn. I guess maybe I could go super passive for a moment. And then maybe like activate this. Yeah, I can't get to there. That's probably his best bet. So that if I want to hold on to these pawns, I have to go passive. At least temporarily. And I think it's probably worth it to hold on to one of them. It's always bad to have your rooks passive in rook endgames, but it seems like there would be reasonable. Seems like that is a rule I should break there. The hardest part of chess. You read all the rules, and then when do you break them? Alright, so what is this person going to do? They're in some trouble. If they don't trade, I can take the rook on c8. They can take back. And then... Oh, yeah, and then maybe even the pawn is falling on b2. They have to guard the f2 pawn. Like, it seems like they're in a tough spot. My prediction is they play queen f3. After which, if I go rook takes, I go king g7, and what? I'm not sure. So I have to be careful I don't get mated. Okay, he is trading. Okay, that eases my mind a bit. I'm not going to get mated out of nowhere now. Now it's just, can I grind out the win or not? So it went from a several result game to a one result game, I think. And this is... No, it's not even better for me. Oh, it is actually. I get to go here, 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 and then if here, I go there and win. Easy. Yeah, this looks good. Go there. Pretty sure this wins. I think he thought I was going to come here. And then it would have worked out a little differently. But here, he should be dead. There's just no way to guard this and get this. So now he's got to come back. That's like best case. And now I'm... Yeah, okay. That is probably the right move. Just resign there. Okay. So weird game. Let's take a look. So it was a delayed Alapin. He's playing perfectly booked moves. I am too. And then plays this weird move. Fascinating. Ah, okay. What did I do? Okay. So this looks like it's hanging. It is not. So there's this trick. I've actually fallen for this trick before. So maybe that's why I didn't grab it there. Then he went there. And now the trick is not there, right? And so this was the oversight my opponent made. Here I could just take. Let's make sure. Yes, the computer says I could just take that. Instead I went... Why is he doing that? Instead I went here. And the computer's like, no, that was a mistake. Now your opponent has a slight advantage. I went here. Let's see what the computer thinks. I like that move. Yep. The computer says it's 0.8 for my opponent. And that this was not the way to do it. Which makes sense. My opponent has some pressure here. But I think my opponent is kind of like, well, how am I supposed to guard everything? The engine says to play this, guarding this. And if I take here, now we're in some sort of poison pawn scenario. Engine's likes this. And then I would have to extricate my queen. And engine says that white is winning. Or white is ahead by 0.8. Now 1.2. Because while I got the pawn, they got their rooks in business. So, interesting stuff there. It's very hard at my level to ignore pawns like that, right? Like, we all have this instinct to guard them. And now black has turned it around and is up 1. Just like that. Okay. Now I'm just developing normal. Finally, I get the pawn. And now it's 1.7. Okay. So, the move the engine likes is the obvious move. I didn't like this move because of a weird variation. I was looking at this. And what was I worried about? I was worried about... I mean, first of all, I can just take this, takes this, takes, like... I don't know why I was so worried. I think I didn't notice this was covering this. But the engine says I have a better move of going here, hitting this a second time, hitting this a second time. And the engine says this is -3. So that's kind of fascinating. I was worried about that, so I took. And the engine says you've kind of given away your lead. It's basically even. I'm up like 0.8. And this seemed like a mistake. I thought this was the way to go. And then if I go here, 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 drops the pawn. And now we're even again. Computer doesn't like that, of course. And I also thought if here, 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 like what else am I supposed to do? Computer likes queen c7 stopping from coming in here. That makes sense, actually. I wasn't really looking at that. Okay. So, they played it wrong. Now they're down a full pawn. Now they're down a pawn and a half. And I'm just kind of squeezing now. And now I'm dead. I'm 100% lost. It felt like a bad move. That felt like a potentially losing move. The winning move for white is to go here, which is not quite what my opponent did. I thought going here would fix everything. This clearly is not winning for white. So what is winning for white here? I don't know. It's +6. They go here. Okay. And it's the same thing with this. This does not work. We already saw that in a lot of variations. Whoops. If they go here and I go... Yeah, what am I supposed to do? I can't go here. This is the same thing. Yeah, I'm just lost. Wow, I missed that. I had a feeling this was a bad move. But I totally missed why it was a bad move. Okay, so my opponent didn't make the right move. They went there, which is what I predicted they would make. And then I went here, and now everything's fine. And I'm up 3. Because I'm up these 2 pawns clean. There's really nothing my opponent can do. I like that this was the engine's #1 move. I was a little bit unclear on that. But now it's just over. And my opponent resigned in a really reasonable spot. I thought they would go here. We certainly could have played it out. What's interesting is I would not have said it's -5 here. I would have said, yeah, clearly I'm ahead. I'm going to push these pawns down. I'm going to bring the king up, and I'm clearly winning. But the engine's like, it is a slaughter. And I'm like, okay, sure. So interesting. I got away with a pawn grab. Should I have seen this? I suppose the answer is yes. Because I saw in a lot of lines that this didn't work. So, okay. So what's the takeaways here? Always got to find some takeaways. One takeaway is when your opponent hangs a pawn, you should probably take it. If it's free. If it's clearly free. And this one was. I missed it. Very embarrassing. I guess another takeaway is like, I mean, I'm not beating myself up too much because I'm not like a Sicilian player yet. But I'm going to need to have a pretty clear understanding of how to play against the delayed Alapin. I don't think it's viable for me to just go in and be like, I don't know, I'll figure it out. Like, that's probably not the right approach. Yeah, I think those are the big takeaways. You know, this felt wrong, and I couldn't find the answer. I don't know. I don't know what to say about that. Yeah. So we got the win, and I don't know. Got a Sicilian win. We'll see you next time.